Hello everyone, and welcome back to League Reveals. With just 1 week until Leagues, we'll be going over all of the reveals of the second week, so if you missed the previous reveals, I'd recommend checking out my other video first. We'll be starting off with the reveals announced on the 30th, where we got to see the first Tier 5 relic, Nature's Accord. Nature's Accord is a very farming forward relic that combines multiple aspects of previous farming related relics into one. With this relic, you can plant any seed or sapling at any level. Not only that, but you get 10 times the yield from all plants and the XP that comes along with it. This means that if you plant snape grass even at level 1, the minimum yield you will have with magic secateurs and super compost is 210. This will give you 206,000 XP at tier 5 with the 12 times XP multiplier, making you go from level 1 straight to level 57 with just one harvest. The downside is that your plants don't instantly grow, so you'll have to wait for them to grow, but it's still 5 times faster than in the main game. Alternatively, this relic works at Tithe Farm too, so not only do you get 12 times the XP and get to use the highest tier fruit from level 1, but you get 10 times the harvest as well. You can go from level 1 farming to 99 in less than an hour if you have Kurend unlocked. You also get a fairy mushroom with this relic that allows you to teleport to any fairy ring, spirit tree, or tool leprechaun, which is a really great way to get around the game and makes doing farming a breeze. You do get this quite late at tier 5, so it's probably not going to be as much of a factor for picking it, since it seems tier 3 is when we already get a teleportation relic unlocked. Nature's Accord synergizes well with the tier 2 relic we've seen before, Woodsman, where traps always give you a random herb or tree seed when collected. You can stack up plenty of farming XP with this before you hit tier 5 and then reap the rewards of your hunter grinds later on. The same day, we also got to know that Echo Dagonoth Kings are making a comeback to the Fremennik region, and they will be giving us a best in slot Viking helmet with a twist. What that twist will be, we just don't know yet, but I did call that this region might give us a helmet slot in my speculation video before the reveal started. Fremennik having a helmet slot this time around will allow for Kandarin to be a very good region for magic, with all the really good magic items to be gained from there. The next day, on the 31st, they gave us a relic that shook things up a bit. We got revealed the second tier 2 relic called Hotfoot. Hotfoot gives you the Searing Boots that, when worn, give you agility XP while running, automatically cooks the fish you catch, and automatically smelts the ore you mine. On top of this, it gives you a decent XP boost and other benefits when doing rooftop agility courses, which usually have a couple tasks tied behind them. There's 2 things to consider with this reveal. The first one is how it compares with the other tier 2 relic, Woodsman, and how this changes what you pick as your first relic. If you pick Hotfoot over Woodsman, you'll be getting a really good source of passive agility XP while running, passive cooking XP when doing fishing, and passive smithing XP when doing mining. You'll also be getting other benefits from rooftop courses, such as 10,000 GP every 3rd lap. This can be pretty good for early money. If you pick Woodsman though, you'll be getting faster fletching, which you can already do passively by making broad arrows while doing other content. You'll also be getting passive fire making XP while woodcutting, and faster hunter XP, both of which are already pretty fast skills. You also get more loot doing rumors and random seeds while hunting chins. Additionally, you get double the loot from implings, which might be a route some people take. Weighing these against each other, I think the passive agility XP is the biggest motivator between these two for me, as you'll be able to get close to 99 agility simply from running around doing other things. The other skills are already pretty fast overall, regardless of region choice. Smithing can be pretty slow too without access to a proper way of training it, and Hotfoot would solve that issue. Of course, this doesn't mean either of these is a bad choice, but agility is by far the slowest skill out of all of the ones mentioned. Now, how does this change our previous stance on the tier 1 relics? Well, abundance doesn't really change much. It still has the same appeals and drawbacks as before. As for endless harvest, Hotfoot synergizes really well with this one due to the automatic cooking and smithing from Hotfoot and the double XP and resources from endless harvest. As for Barbarian Gathering, it seems a little less good at first due to the 10% agility XP you gain from it overlapping with Hotfoot, but it's still really good due to the high XP rates you can get in the early game from the crystal tools and the reduced fail rates. You will also be able to store the bars and cooked fish you get in the knapsack. Here's a quick look at what some people are thinking in the first few hours of this relic being revealed. It's no surprise that Hotfoot is really popular compared to Huntsman, but it seems more people are thinking of taking Endless Harvest over Barbarian Gathering. This was the opposite before this relic was revealed. I wonder what the third tier 2 relic will be and how much that one will change people's opinions. Then, for the Echo boss reveal of the day, we got to know that KBD is making a return for the Wilderness Enjoyers. It will drop a new double-headed ranged crossbow that also has Ice Barrage-like effects. AoE damage with a crossbow and freezing the target while dealing massive DPS at the same time sounds very enticing. We'll have to see how this region plays out the more we know. It might just end up being as good as last time. The following day was April 1st. When I first saw the relic of the day, I thought it might be an April Fool's joke. We got shown the reloaded relic, which if you're unfamiliar with, allows you to pick another relic from a lower tier. It comes in at one of the two tier 7 relics, in the only tier that has two options. This means that if you take reloaded, you'll be able to pick a second relic from tier 1 through 6, which definitely allows for some interesting combinations. But we don't know what it will be going up against in tier 7 and if it is worth it yet. Initially, I thought it might be an April Fool's joke, as last time around it came in at only tier 4 against Equilibrium and Golden God, making it a difficult choice. Tier 7 seems so late to pick some of the earlier relics as you won't get as much utility out of them, so perhaps some of the unknown tier 5 and tier 6 relics will be worth picking over the other tier 7 relic. Later on that day, we got another Echo boss and its reward revealed to us. We got to know that Echo Cerberus is going to be the Echo boss of Asgarnia again, this time with a different melee weapon. The new Echo item is a 3-tick dagger that has some unique abilities. The dagger's damage will scale with elemental weakness, and has an insta-hit special attack. I assume, much like a Granite Maul. This weapon also has the ability to set your opponents on fire. We don't know too much about the stats of the item, but it being a 3-tick weapon and having an instant hit special attack tells me it's meant to be used as a main weapon as well as a special attack weapon. Asgarnia generally isn't the best place for melee, but it does offer Void and Torva, both of which are very good melee upgrades. With everything that we know so far, Kurend, Asgarnia and Mauritania is looking like a fun combination for melee. Kurend or Asgarnia as your first pick and Mauritania for last, but I wouldn't be surprised if big reveals would change this. On the 2nd of April, they released the Larcenist relic as the second relic in tier 5, going up against Nature's Accord. Larcenist allows you to never fail thieving related activities and to AFK them by automatically re-looting stalls and NPCs. The AFK-ness is further extended by increasing the amount of coin pouches you can have by 10 times, and stalls won't deplete when you steal from them, so your character keeps thieving every couple ticks. Items thieved are also noted. The loot you get from these sources are also increased tenfold. This makes thieving gem stalls a really nice way to save some time on your crafting grind while getting tons of thieving XP. It also allows you to pick pocket elves for lots of crystal shards if you have Prifdiness unlocked, to then use them on making crystal armor pieces for crazy smithing and crafting XP rates. Even though the relic says the 10 times loot doesn't work on clues, there's a good chance that it will, and is currently being decided. If I don't include any text here saying otherwise, consider it included. This would mean that by pickpocketing wealthy citizens in Varlamore, you could be getting 10 times easy clues. Having Kandarin unlocked, this would also mean that you can pickpocket medium clues from gnomes, hard clues from paladins, and elites from heroes. Comparing this relic with Nature's Accord is pretty difficult, as both of these relics heavily rely on region choices to make them really good. If you're not taking Kurend, then Nature's Accord sees a lot less use, but is still quite nice. If you don't have Kandarin or don't take Tiranwen, then Larcenist has fewer use cases as well. However, both of these will still speed up the skills significantly, so it's more a matter of what you want to train less rather than how useful they are. Later on, the Echo boss for Mauritania was revealed, which will again be Echo Grotesque Guardians. This time though, it will drop a 4-tick staff that seems to be in the shape of a gargoyle. The text also implies some sort of enemy shattering mechanic after building up some power. This leads me to believe it will either be something where you need to deal a percentage of your opponent's hit points and can then finish them off with something like a rock hammer, or it could also work similar to the Executioner's Axe from last leagues. The next day, on the 3rd of April, we got to see Friendly Forager revealed as the final Tier 2 relic. Friendly Forager is a returning relic, but they gave it a little buff this time around. This relic has two aspects. Firstly, it gives you the Forager's Pouch, which generates you herbs while you do your gathering skills. The herbs you get are tied to your herblore level plus 25 levels, and you can force specific herbs to collect as well. The pouch acts as a way to store herbs, as well as when receiving herbs from skilling, you gain a small amount of herblore XP too. The other aspect of this relic is its buff to herblore. You get to process a whole inventory of herbs and potions at once, and when making potions you get 4-dose ones instead of 3-dose ones. Additionally, secondaries used while making potions have a 90% chance not to be consumed, stacking with prescription goggles from Mastering Mixology to give 100% chance of not using any secondaries at all. Let's first see how this fits in with relics of other tiers and different regions. We know that at tier 5 we have Nature's Accord. This relic will allow you to get loads of herbs and select secondaries. If you pick regions where you won't see too much use out of this relic, it might be better to consider Friendly Forager instead. The main benefit of Friendly Forager is getting to do herblore much faster, as you start at tier 2 and don't need to spend additional time to gather herbs and extra secondaries like you would with Nature's Accord. We don't have easy access to tons of birds' nests like last time around, since we don't have Fossil Island for birdhouses. This means you should consider more carefully what secondaries for herblore your region and relic choices will have, otherwise you might have to do Mastering Mixology for most of your levels. Here's another little insight into what people are thinking after the release of this relic. Between the 3 tier 2 relics, Friendly Forager seems to be heavily underappreciated for how good it can be, especially compared to Woodsman. Most people are still picking Hotfoot over the other two in this tier, and the tier 1 relics seem to be roughly in the same place as before, with a couple more people thinking of going Endless Harvest. The agility XP and early game potential of Hotfoot seems pretty strong for going for Dragon tier trophy or even higher, but if your goal is simply to just have fun and mostly do PvM, then Friendly Forager is a very solid choice. Later that evening, the Echo boss of the day was revealed to be Echo Calphite Queen again for the desert region. It will also drop the same unique as last time, the Drygore Blowpipe, but perhaps this time around with a special burning effect as well. The Drygore Blowpipe and Tiaway make desert a pretty good region for ranged, and picking Asgardia next to this can create a nice basis for a ranged build, leaving you with a couple options for the third region. The Wilderness might be a decent option for that, with the new Echo item coming there and the utility it provides. Kandarin is also a great choice for utility, and you also get the Necklace of Anguish from there. Or you can even pick Kurend for rigor to enjoy some chambers and Hydra with your range setup. On the 4th of April, the second tier 6 relic was revealed to be Grimoire with no changes to it from the previous league. Grimoire grants you the Arcane Grimoire item, which acts as a Book of the Dead and allows you to freely swap between all spellbooks. It also gives you access to all prayers like Piety, Rigor, and Augury, regardless of your region choice. You should know that while you will likely have access to the Lunar Spellbook with this, you will still require Astral runes to use those spells. Some regions have no source of those runes, so just keep it in mind with this relic. The main benefits of this relic are the prayers that give a massive damage boost to your combat, and the utility of the different spellbooks. This relic goes up against Culling Spree, the Slayer relic of tier 6, and quickly loses value if you have Kurend, Kandarin, or the Desert unlocked. It's a little hard to compare these two as they offer quite different benefits, so it will depend a lot on what your goals are, and what regions you end up going for. Keep in mind that if you care more about PvM than points or skilling, then Grimoire will probably be a better fit for you. Later on, we got to know the final region's Echo boss and what it has to offer. Tyranwin will have Echo Hunlif again with the Crystal Blessing, but this time it is said that it will hold new powers. This leads me to believe that it won't be as strong for melee as it was last time, and perhaps might even flip over to be a magic item. Regardless, Turanwin is a really strong region for skilling and for PVM items, even though it doesn't have that much content to offer. It holds great items for ranged, like the blowpipe and the bofa, regardless of what the blessing effect may be. This region will probably fit in every build and might mean that the blessing will be a tribrid item. On the 5th of April, we finally got something other than a relic for the first reveal of the day. They revealed a combat mastery reward for each combat style. They didn't give us much to work with as usual, so we don't know what tier these will be or how you even unlock them, but they have some pretty interesting implications. The melee one doubles your attack range when using two-handed weapons. This means that you can get Glacial Tumultles or Sulfur Blades and safe spot any monster that is safe spottable very early on. This will be great in many early game scenarios like getting your Fire Cape, and even in some late game situations like safe spotting your way to a quiver in the Colosseum. Perhaps Halberds will reach Zuck, or Scythe might even reach Zulrah. The magic mastery is a bit more cryptic, as it says when we regenerate water runes, they will heal you for the amount regenerated. But we don't know anything about regenerating runes yet. This might mean that instead of a chance at saving runes from being used up, we have a chance to generate them. Like a 1 in 10 chance to generate 30 water runes, then that will heal you for a 30. But we shall have to see what this means later on. The range mastery is very straightforward. We get to attack 1 tick faster with bows. This is pretty good as far as damage output goes, but won't really change much in your gameplay mechanically. A couple of examples. The bofa will go from being 4 ticks to 3 ticks, essentially giving it a 33% buff in damage. Slower weapons like the twisted bow that go from 5 ticks to 4 ticks will only see a 25% increase in damage, and faster weapons like the magic short bow and the addle will go from 3 ticks to 2 ticks, giving it a massive 50% damage increase. This is all we know so far about masteries, but I expect that in the coming days after, we'll get to know more. Later on the same day, we got a second tier 3 relic revealed, which is again a teleportation relic. This relic is called the Map of Alacrity. It allows you to teleport to any shortcut in your regions. It has a couple drawbacks though. It will teleport you to the starting side of one-sided shortcuts and the less favorable side of two-sided ones. Initially, it was said that you need the agility level required to teleport to the shortcuts as well, but that has since been removed, so you only need the level to use them. At first glance, this relic doesn't seem as useful as the other teleportation relic in the tier, Evil Eye. I'm sure a couple methods will come out where it will be more useful than Evil Eye, like the agility shortcuts for Zaya runecrafting or nature runes in Karamja, but for now it seems a little underwhelming in comparison. Something that's handy to keep in mind for these teleport menus you get in Leagues is that there are tons of locations to teleport to and only so many keybinds to them. To avoid having to scroll down the list constantly, you can get the plugin called Better Teleport Menu. This plugin allows you to reassign all the hotkeys on the teleport menu you have and even hide the ones you don't want to see. Hopefully this will help some of you out there manage these menus a bit better. That wraps up everything that was revealed in the second week of reveals. We got quite a bit more than the first week and we still have a whole week of reveals to go. I'll try to put out another video of reveals in the following week, perhaps of fewer reveals to keep it a bit shorter. I'll also be making a video on a couple of different route options for all the combat styles with the information that we know. That way, in case you don't even know where to start, you'll have a better overview of what region combinations can be good and what they have to offer. Don't forget to leave a like if you've enjoyed and let me know what your favorite relic is so far. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.